Hi students! Welcome to English 4. I wanted to just make a welcome video to say welcome to English 4, and I'm really happy to have you in English 4. I'm really excited about the class, and so what I wanted to do was just welcome you and take some time to go over the syllabus so that that would be a little bit like we're in class, to do it that way. So I'll just tell you a little bit about me first. So you're like, who is this person? So my name is Kelly Ryan, and I was a student myself at Solano Community College many years ago, right? Um, I just said I made a video previously that I said that's when the dinosaurs were like roaming the campus. No, not that long ago, but we definitely did not have this format. There was no online anything back then. Can you imagine that? No, but at any rate, so I got my AA degree from Solano Community College in English, and then I also have a BA and an MA from Sonoma State, which I can recommend if you're looking for somewhere to transfer. It was a really great school as well. So I wanted to go over the syllabus. So again, this is English 4, critical thinking. And so I'm going to just kind of go over it. I thought that might help to clarify anything. It has my contact info here. So it has both my Solano email, and the Solano email is great. And then it also has my AT&T email. So there's another one. That's fine. Then it has my phone, which is my cell phone. And that is actually the best contact method for me that I would actually prefer, which is a text. I'm really pretty good with a text. So that's like the way that I can get back to you really the fastest. But I'm good with the other ones as well, and I really do enjoy hearing from you. So the other one that if I didn't need to put a contact info in here, that's also great, is Canvas messaging. And you can call me on the phone as well, and you could leave a message depending on, if I can answer or not. So, again, fastest way is a text, but there are other things that are good also. I didn't put my office hours on here. I meant to. I'm going to tell you now, and you can write it down, and I'll put it on the Canvas info as well. But my office hours are Mondays and Thursdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., meaning 11:30 to 12:30 right afternoon. Mondays and Thursdays, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk on the phone. So either text or phone. So either send me a text during that time or call me on the phone, and I will pick up and I'll talk to you. If I am talking to another student, or then just hang in there because I'm going to get right back to you. That would be great. I really enjoy talking to students, so I would love to talk to you during that time. If you're like, no, that's a terrible time for me, then I understand that. And I would still like to talk to you. So you could contact me and let's set up a different time that we could talk on the phone. I'm happy to help and enjoy talking to you. So at any rate, there may be times that I cannot, get back to you right away. There are times that I have to be in meetings, or I'm involved with other classes. I also teach at another college and work in the writing center there online, but I strive to get back to you in a timely manner as best as I can. I'm not normally available on Sundays, and I'm not normally available after 9 p.m. So, normal business hours, right? But that said, I really enjoy talking to students, so I'd love to hear from you. All right, so we're going to go, I just wanted to go over really quick what the grading format is, how your grade is made up. So I have that right here on the top, right there, bold, right? 60% of your grade comes from the essays. So we'll be doing 4 papers during the class, and 60% of your grade is going to come from that. Which means it's really important to get the papers in, because if you do happen to get a 0 on a paper because you didn't turn it in, that is a major problem. That is going to wreak havoc with your grade and could cause you not to pass the class. So you want to make sure that you get the papers in. The first 2 you will be able to revise, and in fact you can get all of your points back except late points. I'll talk about that later. but it's better to do your best and just get the work in, and revise if you need to, rather than just going, oh, well, woe is me, I can't get this in, and again, get a 0. So after the assignment closes in Canvas, after it's locked, I can't take it. I mean, so it's just a huge headache on my end to have to unlock assignments, and it's really not fair to have one person, having extra time and all these other people stayed up all night or whatever they needed to do to get it in on time. So we're just not going to go that route. I do give you a grace period of 1 week past the deadline. I take off points for that grace period, which is 10, but better to get 10 points off if it's late than to not get credit at all and get a 0, right? So that was a long little spiel there, but all right. The next section is in-class writing homework. Well, in class in this format, homework is 20% of the grade. So you want to get that homework in. I think human nature, sometimes we go 20%. Well, that's not that much. Maybe I don't need to do a lot of homework. No, really, that's a bad strategy if you have that strategy because it can actually wreak havoc with your grade. Like, say you have an A on the papers and you don't do much homework, even if you did half, like you only had 10%. Instead of 20 or something, like that's a failing grade in that category. That's going to boot you down likely to a whole nother grade. And depending if you had a low A on the papers, right, or maybe some high Bs or whatever, it could boot you down 2 grade categories. So that's just silly. So just get the homework in, complete it, and get credit, right? So there's that. All right, and all of the homework is designed to help us with the learning objectives of the class, and some is designed to help you to be successful in the next paper, things like that. So it's important. All right, there will be one presentation, which is for the final paper. That's worth 10% of your grade. Again, human nature, I think we go 10%. I don't want to do a presentation. I'm allergic to them or something. No, you don't do that, because again, that's not a good strategy. That will get you a 0, and it can wreak havoc. It's just avoid zeros, really, because they can really wreak havoc with your grade, cause you not to pass, depending on your grade situation in the other categories. So it will be on the same topic as the final paper, which I will talk about later. And there's a little silver lining about the presentations for this asynchronous online format, is normally we'd be presenting in class to the class, which I enjoy doing and being part of course. But in this format, you will just be making either a slide presentation such as PowerPoint or Google Slides, or you will be creating an original YouTube video. And the only person that will be viewing your slides or viewing your video is me. So if presentations are the things that it's like freaking you out, don't freak out. It's just me, right? So so that's I think that's a silver lining. But so there's a prompt for that when we get closer to. It's not till the end of the semester. All right, quizzes are 10% of your grade. They're on the assignment schedule. They're going to be on, we're watching a series of documentaries, and they'll be on the documentaries plus some other concepts that we need to go over in the class, such as inductive and deductive reasoning and logical fallacies, right? So there's that. And again, they're really important. So you don't want to miss a quiz because again, 10% may not sound like much, but it can bump you into the wrong way in your grade if you don't do them or don't do much about them, that kind of thing. I will post a study guide the week before each quiz. The quizzes are always on Fridays. They are closed book and they are timed. So just know that I do like 50 minutes on the timing. And so you're supposed to study the study questions, the week before and use those to take the quiz. I do take let me back up. All of my quizzes are 4 questions and 1 bonus question. Each is worth 25 points. So if you get the bonus, that can really, really help. And I take the regular questions directly from the study guide. So for example, the study guides tend to have about 10-ish questions on them. 4 of those will show up on the quiz. And then the bonus, it could be from the study guide, or it could be something more specific about one of the documentaries, or more specifically about one of the concepts, because it's bonus. But always attempt the bonus, because that bonus could even help you if you do have to miss a quiz. I don't do any makeups for quizzes. It's too complicated. So you have to take the quiz on the day it's scheduled, and you have to do it during that time. But if something happens and you can't do that for some reason, getting the bonus questions and getting that extra credit will help you to make up for a missing quiz. So there you go. All right, so I will let you go through the rationale and the student learning objectives on your own, all right? Because I'm just trying to make a short video and not put people to sleep on the first video. So, all right, flip the page. All right, so I'm going to go to where it says format and procedures, including policies for late work. That's on the second page here. It's about almost halfway down. It's in bold. All right, so it says students will be responsible for turning in assigned work into the Canvas submission assignment box by the due date. So that means you have to turn it into, just like it says, Canvas submission box. So not in my email, not in a Canvas message with an attachment, not anything, not by a boat, not with a goat, right? So you have to put it in the Canvas submission box. The reason for that is I need everyone on the same page with that. I need for equity, I need to have everybody doing the same thing in the same way. In that way, I don't want to miss your assignment. So if you emailed it to me and I didn't see it somehow, that's just a mess, right? So you have to put it into the Canvas box, all right? And honestly, if you are having any tech help, especially if this is your first time using Canvas, it can be a little challenging to get used to it. Once it, becomes sort of a new normal, it's a new normal. But there is tech help available. In fact, you can email de@solano.edu for technical assistance, and they are really great about getting back to you. They can even have, once you submit the initial email, they can even have somebody call you and walk you through things. They're super awesome. Solano does this super, super well. So just know that help is available in a variety of different ways. But what you got to do is submit the assignment in the assignment box. The other thing is that you need to submit it before the assignment is locked. Once it is locked, we are done with that. I mean, where I'm done taking them, it's got to be in by then. It's super complicated for me to unlock assignments. And again, I need to have everybody on the same page because it's really not fair for one student to be staying up all night and another one, really manage their time well, got it in or whatever, and then somebody else gets it opened up for them. It's just not really fair. So we're not doing that, right? So you have to get it in. I give a grace period on the essays, except the final, not the final. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And on the homework, except the last, at the end of the semester when we're running out of time, I give a grace period normally, except with those exceptions, of 1 week. So you can turn it in late, up to 1 week, but then the assignment is locked. So for the late ones with those essays that are late, I do take 10 points off. So it's much better to get it in on time, but it does give you some breathing space in case something happens, because you can still get a large part of credit for that. All right, so but after, my whole point in saying this is after it's locked, we're done with that. Okay, I need to keep us all moving forward. It gets me really behind with the grading if these assignments I'm having to unlock things and things are late or whatever. Okay. The final essay, this is in bold, the final essay, the final paper at the end of the semester cannot be turned in late, not for any reason at all. I have a very strict deadline myself about when I have to submit grades. So I have to get all of these, the final paper is a research paper. I have to get all these research papers graded, plus for my other classes, and submitted, and I have no leeway on my deadline, so I cannot give you any leeway. So just know that plan. You've got to get that in on time. You can't revise it. You cannot revise the final paper. You cannot revise the, probably not the third paper, just because time is starting to be a factor. But the first two you can revise. So once you get it in, you will get it back from me. I tend to make a lot of comments. That just tends to be my thing. So you should know exactly what to do to revise that paper for, and you can get all your points back except for the late points. So, and I'm always willing to meet with you in office hours or at another time that we agreed on to go over it with you. And I love doing that. So that'd be fun. All right. So, Course requirements. Okay, so that's the next one in bold, course requirements, and it says attendance and participation. So this is an asynchronous online class, meaning that I post the assignments and you guys do them and you submit them, and we're not zooming in here. So so that the neat thing about that is that you get to do the work according to your own schedule to a certain degree, right? But here's the kicker is you can't forget to log on each week. You can't just sort of, put it aside, which, honestly, I could see how that could easily happen with other responsibilities everyone has, and it's just kind of overwhelming sometimes. But you've got to log in every week. You've got to keep up with the assignments every week. So the assignments tend to open up on Mondays, and they're homework, and they're due on Fridays. You have all the deadlines for the paper are in the syllabus, so you can mark this on your calendar now. You can mark the quizzes on your calendar now. There could be some changes in the quizzes or something, depending on if something takes longer or I need to move something around or something I don't know about right now. So you have to keep up and just know that that could change. But basically, we have a plan, and I tend to stick to the plan. So you can write things down on your calendar and know what's happening when. So plan for that. So here's the thing. Though that was the good part. Now here's the bad news. If you don't log in for if you don't log in for 2 weeks, you're likely to be dropped from the class because it's going to be really hard for you to pass at that point, and it's better to get dropped or drop yourself than to get a 0, and that would or not a 0, but it'd be like an F. So that that's just an awful experience. So wrecks your GPA. So so don't let that happen. If you do have something going on, please talk to me, and we'll do my best to work with you. But you do need to keep up with the work. All right. So there's that. Okay. So then I'm going to flip the page again, and this talks about the papers. So I'm not going to read through all of this. I'm going to let you do that. But I just wanted to give you kind of an overview. All of the papers, except the final research paper, are 3 to 5 pages. The final research paper is 5 to 7 pages because you need time and space to incorporate that research into your paper. But let's see. So there are. Let me just read this a little bit. It says you're responsible for 4 major essays that make up the essay category of your grade. So that's what I was going to say. They're all argument papers in this class. This is a critical thinking class. They are all argument papers. So you are going to effectively argue your point on the topic, and with some criteria, right? So just know that they should all be in essay format, MLA style. You guys know that, right, from having passed English 1. But I will give you, let's see, where did I put that? Okay, so this is kind of a fun thing, this is English teacher fun. Like I said, you might not think, well, that wasn't fun at all, and she said it was going to be fun. Okay, this is English teacher fun. But you could, on any of the papers, to prepare you for the research paper, on any of the papers, you can turn them into a research paper. With some criteria. So what you would do, instead of a 3 to 5 page paper, you would write a 5 to 7 page paper. You would have at least 3 college academic sources that you use. You would cite those sources parenthetically in the body of your work and have a work cited. All of this would be MLA style. You would use quotes accurately and smoothly work them into your essay to support your thesis. And if you do all of that, you can get up to, what did I say here? I think I said 7. Yep, there it is. You can get up to 7 points extra per essay for doing that. Now, if it's really good, you probably get all 7 points. If you did some of that, but some of it was missing or not quite up to where you needed to be, it might be less than 7. It might be 3.5. It might be 5. It might be 2. I mean, it just really depends what you do. All right, that part can be revised as well. So we're all here to learn. So if you didn't cite correctly and I took off some extra credit points for that, but you got some extra credit points and you want to, work on that, revising that, that's part of the revision process as well. So note that you can work toward getting some extra credit. All right. So the first paper is on right to privacy for youth. I'm not going to go through the whole prompt, mini prompt as I call it in the syllabus. I'll let you guys read through that, but that's what it's about. So for each of the papers, I have a mini prompt in the syllabus, so you can start thinking ahead of time about what you want to write about as long as it's on the topic, right? I will provide a longer prompt when we get closer to the paper due date, and you will also have the assignment posting with the directions. So between all of that, you should definitely know what to write about, right? So you can always refer back to the syllabus for your mini prompt, and then you have your longer prompt. The longer prompts will be in that module for whatever the essay is. If it's the, paper number 1, paper number 2, whatever it is. It's also in the files section of Canvas, and it's usually on the assignment directions that I attach it to. So you should not be in the dark as far as what to write about. All right. So next is a paper, number B is to social media, positives or negatives of social media. So I'll let you read through all the specifics of that. And C is a documentary response. You can write about any of the documentaries that we watch during the semester. We will still have a couple to go by the time we get to this, so you can even watch those ahead of time if you wanted to. If you wanted to do one of the ones we hadn't watched yet, you can still do that. But you can watch any of the documentaries that are assigned during the semester, and you are going to respond to one of the issues presented in that documentary to write about. And again, I'll let you look at more of the specifics on that. And the research paper. So the research paper is a photo analysis. So you're going to find a historical photo, and you are going to have an idea that you have about that photo and write about it, and you are using your analyzing skills to analyze the photo and what you notice about it, and then also you are using your evidence from research. All right, so there's that. You can look through that more specifically. The presentation is on the same topic of photo analysis. All right, and you can look through the details for that about that. And then the quizzes I already talked about, but you can read more info on that. All right, so and it talks again about the homework. I talked about that. Extra credit does come up, and I already talked about the extra credit available on the papers, so that's kind of fun. I will mention there is no book for this class. I am not using a book. I'm just going over the concepts via the information that I am, giving you. And I have some videos, YouTube videos that I like, that I have found that are really, I think, helpful. So we'll be using that. The documentaries at this point, unless anything changes, are all free except for one. There's one that's a TV episode that is $1.99. So that is your only textbook purchase, is $1.99 to watch that one show that goes with something that we're doing. All right. So other than that, there should be no textbook. There is no textbook cost because there's no textbook. All right. So I'm going over it without that. All right. So to keep the cost down. All right. And then I wanted to just mention this academic integrity section. This is really, really important. It says any work submitted by a student in this course for academic credit will be the student's own work. This is really important. It says if you borrow ideas that are not common knowledge, give the source, right? So you need to cite your sources. You need to give credit to the person that had that quote or had that idea, or whatever it is, right? Really, really important. It's considered plagiarism to be intellectual theft. So Solano College takes this really seriously, as they should, because our what we stand for is in jeopardy. If you go through the class and we say you have these skills because you passed this class, but actually someone were to plagiarize everything, they don't have those skills. So this puts our whole standing in jeopardy. In addition, it's intellectual theft, which is not the right thing to do, obviously. So it has really profound consequences. You will be submitting your papers into Turnitin, which is a plagiarism checker. So it actually provides me with a report of if there were sources that weren't cited. It highlights them all, exactly what they are and where they came from, and wow, like so there's just there's nothing good that can come from plagiarizing something. It even goes through previous student papers that have been submitted at Solano College. So don't go that route either. Don't go any of these routes. I know people do this really, I believe, out of extreme stress, but it is better to just do the best you can, get an honest C if necessary, rather than going this route. What it gets you, if you were to choose this route, which I certainly hope you would not, would be a 0 on the assignment. That is likely to cause you to fail the class, and you got to take the whole class over. Then it's worse than that. Then you get to meet with an official from Solano College, likely one of the vice presidents, and they have a hearing with you. They decide whether or not you get to stay at Solano College. You can be expelled for this. In addition to that, it can be an ethics violation on your permanent record from Solano College. So if you have ideas about, if you're, say, for example, a criminal justice major and you are going to apply to the FBI or CIA or something like that, they look for those things, for ethics violations. You don't want that on your permanent record. If you're transferring to a university that might be a religious institution, they look for ethics violations. You don't want any of that to muddy up your future, all right? So just avoid all that completely and just do the best you can, right? In addition to that, you don't want to work with another student you can work with another student, of course, but you don't want to work with another student to the point that you are turning in the same work as that other student and you guys have identical or very similar work. That's true on quizzes. That's even true on homework. I shouldn't be reading the same words from 2 or 3 people, right? That's going to get you a 0 and all these other bad consequences. So you want to just avoid that and just do your same original work, all right? Okay, so that was all the bad dramatic stuff, but it's very important to talk about. All right, so next it says accommodations for students with disabilities. So if you have any kind of a disability that would impact you in the class and that you need some accommodations for, what you would want to do is contact DSP first. I mean, you definitely tell me. I'm happy to help. But the procedure is to contact DSP, which is Disabled Student Services. They're now online. They can work with you. They are fabulous. They are so nice. They are just really supportive and helpful, and they have great tools and options and help. And so don't shy away from contacting them because they are super awesome. And then they have some official paperwork that you would send me online so I know what those accommodations are, okay? All right, so there's that. And then the reading and assignment schedule is next. And so this tells us where you're going to be interviewing your classmates, basically introducing yourself and responding to another classmate. So you're going to do that assignment, and then we are doing a documentary viewing of a film called, this is our first documentary, it's called 180 Days in an American High School DC Met. I have a theme for the class of educational reform, and we're looking at that from a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different formats, different ages, things like that. So this is high school, and it is a high school in Washington, D.C. that is under the an educational reform for the high school, and it's a continuation school. And so this is our longest film. It's put up by PBS. It won several awards for the director. I'm really excited about this film. So that's the first one, is to view the film. You'll be doing a response to that film, and you will be taking a quiz on the film. So that's our first kickoff. I will let you go through the assignment schedule on your own, because that would take a really long time for me to read through all that, and I think you guys can read that. One note that I put, if you see a blank space, that just means that it's continuing. We're continuing the same work. The assignments tend to be on this block. I had to make this for this new online format, so that doesn't mean that you don't log in that week or something. It's all in the same week, right? And so the assignments tend to be on that block. Sometimes I had some information I needed to put in the other block, so but that's hopefully it's helpful, and everything's all planned out when the due dates are and all that. All right, and I will just flip that side. Yeah, so it tells all the documentaries and in the order and when we'll be watching them. It has the quizzes, it has when the papers are due. So again, you can plan your semester. All right. So again, thank you so much for being in the class. I'm really excited about our semester, and welcome to English 4.